Hi, I'm Grant Denyer, and welcome to one of the most delicious views you're likely to see in the Southern Hemisphere anywhere. The snow-dusted mountaintops just outside Queenstown, South Island, New Zealand, and home to the new jewel in the crown of international motor racing circuits, Highlands Motorsport Park. And this weekend, the 101 event. Some of the greatest motor vehicles you're likely to see all gathered in the one place, and one of the most spectacular places you can race on this planet today. You're going to love it. Come and take a look. It's such a great place to race that in just a year and a half, look at the lineup of stars and cars that are desperate to come here to play. The brands alone are extraordinary. Audis, Mosler, a whole heap of European GT spec Audis. We've got Ferraris. We've got something that's so new up there that I haven't even seen it on a track in the Southern Hemisphere before. It has a giant B on the front, so it's got to be a Bentley. We've got Ferraris, Mercedes. Look, if you're a motor racing fan, it's enough to make a grown man cry. Considering this bloke owns the circuit, this is his category, you've got to be pretty happy too on a day like today, Tony.
Yeah, look, it goes beyond happy. It's delighted, to be fair. There's a great bunch of people, great bunch of cars.
It just happens to be one of those truly unique and spectacular places to race on the planet. It's simply that good.
Yeah, look, I've been all around the world and I've raced a fair bit of the world, and this part of New Zealand is very, very special, and we should all be very proud to be here. It's only 3 hours from Sydney.
If you haven't heard of Highlands, what is it?
It's the culmination of all the good bits and pieces that I've seen throughout motorsport circuits, the environment, and what suits the drivers and the teams and what the public want to see. It's a spectator sport, but I'm not a good spectator, so if I'm expected to watch a motor race, I want to see plenty of action and plenty of entertainment. And that's what we've tried to do here at Highlands. We've got all sorts of things in the forest for people to go and visit, shady spots. We encourage wine drinking. It's all very cool.
It's the second 101. Did you imagine it seeing such a strong lineup and a category so healthy?
No, I think that's been the biggest surprise, is that we've managed to grow this category, which is full of aspirational vehicles, in a climate that's been quite tough for these guys, but they love the racing. It's a good format. We've got it sorted, and usually the best guy wins.
Highlands Motorsport Park, what a sight. The sixth and final round of the Australian GT Championship presented by Pirelli for 2014, and really it's a case of two men fighting for the championship. Will Davidson's alongside me as we take a look at the highlights of this final round. Richard Muscat in the Erebus Mercedes versus Tony Quinn in the Aston Martin, but Quinn bringing in some help this weekend.
Yeah, what an unbelievable title fight, down to the wire at a spectacular circuit. Not the only fight going on this weekend.
Garth Tander joining Tony Quinn in the Aston. The fight in the trophy class is between the Audis. Rod Salmon co-driving with Nathan Antunes, taking on Dean Koutsamidis and James Winslow. But the Equity 1 car had a drama earlier on the weekend. Have a look at this. Around it goes, into the wall. A bit of damage there. They would get it repaired and join the field for the races. Now, fighting the challenge class was all about the Porsches. Ben Fossel going up against Brendan Cook and Matt Kingsley. A fight between the GT3 Cup cars. GT4, that title decided coming into the weekend. Mark Griffith with the points that could not be beaten. Tony Martin, though, just trying to be a pest for the rest of the weekend. 40 minutes opening race. Garth Tander put the Aston Martin on pole position in qualifying as he and Tony Quinn tried to add another win to their win from earlier in the year at the Phillip Island 101. Away in racing, Tony Quinn starting the Aston versus Richard Muscat. Great field of cars though. Love this track, and this opening sequence of corners gets your attention.
This track just fascinates me. It's got a bit of everything. Look at this fast bus stop chicane, lots of concrete, no room for error. Awesome place, awesome cars.
Things went wrong in the early stages. Rod Salmon tapping the back of Inky Tulloch, the Kiwi and the Camaro, sharing with V8 legend Craig Lowndes. Both cars went around. Luckily, the field managed to avoid them, but it was dramatic for Rod Salmon and his chances in the trophy class. Everyone went through. He managed to at least get rolling again down the back. Speaking of from the back, Shane Van Gisbergen, they had an oil pump drama with the McLaren that he shares with Clark Quinn. He started rear of grid, but he started slicing through.
What an amazing story to get this McLaren back on track after its problems. Watching Shane Van Gisbergen charge through the field from the rear, pretty spectacular stuff.
And not the first time we've seen him put a fight back drive on it, back Bathurst earlier in the year. He was stunning. Plenty of crews watching on, nervous times with championships on the line. The Kiwi was so impressive to watch. He is such an amazing driver in whatever he drives. Dramas, though, in terms of the fight between the Porsches. Brendan Cook fighting for the challenge class with Ben Fossel. On board, has a lose, damage, pops the radiator. He was done, and that handed Fossel his second consecutive challenge class win. John Bowe on board the Maranello Motorsport Ferrari. Keith Kasuki, though, the Ascari off the road, and this crash was enough to cause this race to be stopped, meaning Richard Muscat took victory.
Huge result for Richard Muscat and the Erebus team. That put them in the box seat for what was a thrilling race 2 to decide the championship.
John Bowe home in second in the Ferrari, Quinn and Tander third in the Aston. Great job Ryan Millier and Jim Manolios. They finished fourth in their Ferraris. We flick back through the order. Great job from Okit Flory and John Magro. They won the GT Trophy class, but more importantly, that car on screen, the Equity 1 Audi, finished second in class and in the top 10. So, race 2, championship deciding race. Richard Muscat, Garth Tander, John Bowe led us away down to that first chicane on board with Clark Quinn. What a great view in that McLaren.
Have a look at these GT3 cars, the technology and the F1 inspired steering wheel. Geez, I love these cars.
The fight at the front instantly began. Richard Muscat in the lead, Garth Tander, the 3-time Bathurst 1000 champion, trying to help Tony Quinn win the title. He got the lead done and moved on through in that fantastic Aston Martin Vantage. On board with Jono Lester, the young Kiwi in the Ferrari 458. He was going with the Australian GT Championship regulars. Not so well for Ross Lilly, the Lamborghini off the road and through the gravel trap. We rode on board with that awesome sounding Erebus SLS, and then pit stop time. And on board with the Ferrari, I'm not quite sure whether this is hello, hurry up, but it's all very gentlemanly.
I don't know if he's looking at a big screen, just waving at Richard Muscat and saying, I'm here, mate.
A change of Pirellis from the Erebus Motorsport team, and then it was a case of back into the fray. Tony Quinn out in front. Richard Muscat then had to start the fight back, as he's done so many times in 2014, and he was hustling.
I know that feeling, I know that car, and he is up on the wheel, using all the electronics, driving this car so hard. Awesome to watch.
The run over the bridge, down the inside, he got the move done, he got the lead, and this would be quite a sensational result. Jono Lester went the long way around the sweeper. It was looking good until about here, and then it looked not so good.
Big, brave move, long, fast right-hander, using the aerodynamics, got in the marbles. He came off second best to the concrete.
The man who came off best, though, Richard Muscat, a clean sweep of the weekend. He sealed the Australian GT Championship in style. Tander and Quinn home in second, John Bowe in third, Peter Edwards, the debut of the brand new Bentley Continental, 5th overall. A stunning way to finish 2014 in the Australian GT Championship, and Erebus Motorsport claiming their first championship in this category.
After so many years of trying, Betty Clemenco will be so happy with this.
Holding that number 1 finger up on the bonnet with the trophy behind you has to feel pretty darn good.
Yeah, it does feel just a little bit good, doesn't it? I'm very thankful for Erebus Motorsport first and foremost. The cars they've prepped this year has just been unbelievable, and to work with them and to understand the car, really deep down, it's been really good, and we've got this pace in the car which is unbelievable. So I'm just wrapped, and thanks to Wilson Security. Without them, I couldn't have done any of this.
You busted a gut all year, banging door panels with some of the greatest names in motorsport. To finish with a win, is that a little extra special?
For the last race, to me and Tony battling out in the last few laps, that's been just a story of the year with the CPS, how it all worked out. So it's been very, very exciting and a great year.
To close out with a win and just has to be equal measure of what? Satisfaction and relief.
Yeah, look, I think in the end it was 4 points in it. We've blown an engine with about 10 laps to go. So when I got in there, the guy said, look, it's overheating, it's spraying water everywhere. And it was very, very close. So I got told drive to a temperature. The car was in limp mode. And that's why we were just punting around at the back, but it was enough to get the championship.
It's all the hard work has paid off.
Yeah, it's been a big year. KBH Racing's been great. They've given us a good car, and yeah, it's been absolutely awesome. Things have gone our way this round, but the whole year has just been brilliant. Constantly improving, which is what I want, and very happy to go back to back with the Challenge Championship.
Having already taken out the championship before you were here, adding 2 race wins, it's got to feel nice.
Grant, sensational, it really is. To come to Highlands, such a picturesque track, it's fantastic entertainment for everyone. We've had a ball. You got to work like buggery in the old Janetta. They're not very fast, but it's always good fun.
What a stunning way to finish the Australian GT Championship. Trophies and champagne all around. Stay with us after the break. The Highlands 101. That amazing sound you're hearing is the mighty V12 Aston Martin, the Sony Action Cam on board with Garth Tanner in qualifying for the Highlands 101 here at Highlands Motorsport Park in New Zealand. The V8 Supercar Star was putting the Aston up the front, but Will Davison, this was a really intense qualifying session. Shane van Gisbergen, second fastest in the McLaren, but it didn't go right for Richard Muscat.
The level these guys are driving at, these unbelievable cars in qualifying trim are absolutely awesome. After wrapping up the championship the day before, Richard's just overstepped it, gone into the wall, but fortunately no damage.
Sharing with the enduro expert Craig Baird for the Highlands 101 in the Erebus Mercedes, Jono Lester, he was quick. The Trask family Ferrari 458 was a factor against the big V8 names that had come across from Australia, but in the end, Garth Tanner on pole and Grant's with him.
If I can just interrupt for just a moment. I've been interviewing you for about 15 years, mate. I don't think I've seen you smile this hard.
This is so much fun, this thing. You get so trained how to drive a supercar, and you've got to drive in a very particular way, the way the cars are. Then you come and drive this, and you just got to forget all that and relearn it, how to drive a race car fast or differently. So then that lap, I just drove it as crazily as I could and got away with it. So it's cool fun.
like you've almost got to be a little stupid.
Well, no, it's Tony's car, and it's an expensive one, so can't be too stupid. But there's a couple of moments in there that hopefully he doesn't find out about. But
It's a star-studded lineup for the Highlands 101. 101 laps of this venue. Tanner and Quinn up the front. Look at the names. Van Gisbergen, Steve Richards, Craig Lowndes, Warren Luff, Cam McConville. It's a 34-car field for what will be a race that lasts just over 400 kilometres.
It's not just a great place to race, but a great opportunity to get up amongst some of the world's most desirable motor cars. And when you look at the grid, 7 different makes and manufacturers in the top 7 mean this is going to be quite an exquisite race, let alone the most unorthodox of race starts you'll see in 2014 anywhere. Second on the grid's looking pretty nice, but it all kind of doesn't mean a great deal because there's a foot race.
I'm glad I'm not running. I'm in the car, but it's pretty exciting. It's a pretty cool way to start a race, so it'll be interesting to see how it all goes, but I'm sure I'll just be sitting there waiting to hear the go, go, go.
Great opportunity to grab an autograph and meet the fans. It's always nice.
Did you want one?
Yeah, would you mind? Just to dear Grant, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
You looking forward to this, mate? Second row on the grid, it's a nice place to be, but an interesting start yet to come.
Yeah, for sure. I'm happier at driving boots on, not running shoes. That's a bonus when you've got a 20-year-old teammate.
Is that how the decision's made, mate? It's just pulling rank?
On age, yeah, and speed.
Nice to be able to walk amongst the grid here with such a lovely selection of cars.
Fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable. You know, getting up this close to the cars is mind-blowing, and particularly for the little guy here, he's loving it.
You got a favourite, mate?
Lamborghini.
I'll put you inside the car if you say this is the best car.
Cool. How good's that? A little bit of H2O, got the runners on, looking smart and sharp, Clark.
It won't be the outcome of my race. You know, I just want to say sorry to Shane.
Never nice to have to apologise before the actual race starts.
No, look, I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm never a good runner. I know that much.
Well, it doesn't help that he's got twice the legs of yours in front of you, Garth Tanner.
And I'm going to try and hook a toe off, try and get in the slipstream. That'll be my only shot.
Last time I ran was this time last year. I nearly died, and the time before that I was 11. So,
she's a quirky feature of world motorsport, this Le Mans start.
very quirky. I'm a great fan of the Quinn family, but I'll draw the line at this.
Mate, just the hamstring, that's all.
What do you mean?
I've had about two years of therapy on it, so first time I've run.
You haven't run in 2 years because of hamstring surgery? Yep. It's like the worst case scenario.
Surgery, but almost there, mate, so yeah, we'll see.
You have career-defining moments, and this could actually make or break a career. This little sprint from here to there could hopefully won't be a drama.
Just quietly, you're more nervous about driving the car in the race or this run?
I'm far nervous about this, mate. This is the most nervous I've ever been before getting into a race car.
I've noticed you've dropped your official racing shoe and gone for a high-performance running number.
Yeah, absolutely. I've given myself every opportunity.
This is unique to the Highlands 101. It harks back to the days of the Le Mans 24-hour where there was a run across to the car. This is about a run of 200 metres, Will Davison. Some of these taking it a little more seriously than the others.
Look at the pace. I think that's Jono Lester hunting down Richard Muscat. They've got some impressive sprinting pace going on here.
They've got a ribbon to take off their car when they get to it, and then it can join the race. All the other drivers are in the cars ready to go. Now, there must be a phantom runner because that 82 Porsche, the Ant Pedersen Andrew Bagnall car, has gone early and there was no runner near it that belonged to that car.
I reckon he was just running that fast we didn't see him, but hey, they got themselves some TV time.
Now, The race begins. The Highlands 101 is underway, and it's that Porsche out in front. I don't think it will be for too much longer. 34 cars in this 101-lap race. The Erebus Mercedes will lead away. Craig Baird, the 5-time Porsche Carrera Cup Australia champ, is at the helm. And if you like exotic cars, we have got them for you in this Highlands 101 race. It's a star-studded lineup, including this man, Shane van Gisbergen, on board in the McLaren. He shares with Clark Quinn. There's Tony Quinn sharing the Aston with Garth Tander as we get underway.
I don't know why I'm surprised, but I am impressed with Shane van Gisbergen going around the outside of the boss of all people. Start of a 101-lap race, 2 compulsory pit stops, and he's driving very aggressive out the gate.
Of course, this is the second running of the Highlands 101. Last year, Tony Quinn in the Aston took victory, but that time it was with Fabian Coulthard. We are on board with Craig Baird. There's not a race that this guy just about hasn't won. He shares with Richard Muscat in the Erebus Mercedes SLS. He is out in front at the moment. Jono Lester, the Ferrari 458 chasing. Rod Salmon sharing this 2014 spec Audi R8 LMS GT3 Ultra with Nathan Antunes. Wrapped up the trophy class of Australian GT this weekend, has changed cars for this Highlands 101. Remember, it's not a round of any championship. It is very much a standalone race, but there's all sorts of drama back in the pack. The Freem Porsche goes around, the Bentley avoids. Oh, the Falcon nearly gets involved as well. He lives to fight another day.
Craig Baird pushing the pace out the front in this awesome SLS AMG. Such a fantastic car to drive. On board with him around this fast, long right-hander. He's off to a great start for Richard Muscat.
You clearly gave it the run of your life. The first out.
Yeah. Just trying to catch my breath back still. It's pretty hard. I think I went too hard at the start. Over the bed, and he can bring the car back for me. I'll probably hop in for the last stint.
He's a good guy to have behind the wheel, isn't he? Craig Baird, he's been there, he's done it all in all sorts of cars. What a great site, this Highlands Motorsport Park venue. Opened in 2013 here in Cromwell in Otago in New Zealand. It is a great place to just visit, let alone come and race. This is the guy who's been responsible for largely a lot of it. Tony Quinn on the charge, down the inside of Rod Salmon in the Audi R8, on board with Graham Smythe in the Ferrari. Started from third with Jono Lester, but he's missed the bus stop chicane, Will. And the way that steering wheel is, I reckon he's got a problem.
Absolutely. You can see as soon as he hit the brakes, the car turned left, straight on the radio. Definitely something looks like it's collapsed in the left front suspension.
And that's a real shame. Starting from third on the grid, they were up to second in the race. And in the early stages of the Highlands 101, one of the Ferrari challengers has got major drama.
Mate, I don't know. It looks like we've got something wrong with the left rear of the car. Just ran my ass off. I'm gutted. That gave us the time we needed, and I don't know what's going on. Looks like we're dragging here at the left front. It's locked on, so we're just going to come into the garage and see what the problem is.
Are you more gutted by the fact that the car's now out, or the fact that your run was for no reason?
Probably the latter, mate.
Fight for the lead is on. Shane van Gisbergen is closing in, Will, on Craig Baird. You know about driving this Erebus car. You know about fighting Shane van Gisbergen in this McLaren.
Absolute deja vu to the 12-hour this year. I had Van Gis in the McLaren, breathing down my neck for the final podium position. This is going to be on with these two Kiwis driving at the highest level in the highest level of car.
They've both done many laps around this Highlands Motorsport Park. Van Gisbergen is so busy. V8 supercars, GT racing, drifting. He does just about any form of racing. He does not have a weekend off. And now he's putting the pressure to a guy who's been around for so many years. Now he goes the long way. This is the Van Gisbergen thing. Why go underneath when you can go around?
Oh, look at that, Beardo running him wide, using the lap traffic to his advantage on the defence. Now we're looking at a very serious Clark Quinn.
Very serious. He wasn't that serious at the start of the race. We ride on board the Sony action cam as the Kiwi hunts him down. Now, up the inside. This is a lunge. The McLaren MP412C goes to the lead of the Highlands 101, but the SLS is back down the inside, and the throaty roar of the German SLS gets him back to the lead. This is a great fight.
Opportunistic lunge by Van Gis. Great switchback by Beardo.
Great to have a look here too at the Peter Edwards Bentley Continental. Its debut run. Campbell Little is here engineering this car. They had a brief run at Phillip Island before they brought it here to Highlands Motorsport Park as he tries to get the move on Janjit Adassa. There's fights wherever you look here in the Highlands 101 at Highlands Motorsport Park. Looking here at the Lamborghini of Ross Lilly and Paul Kelly, fighting with the Audi of Steve McLaughlin, sharing this car with Warren Luff from Australia. There behind them on the road, though, Will Davison, is the fight for the overall lead. Craig Baird in the Erebus Mercedes, Shane Van Gisbergen in the McLaren. This is a ding-dong fight.
Look at Beto. He's looking in the left mirror. He's looking in the rear view mirror. He's looking at lap traffic. And he's got that McLaren filling the screen in the middle of that car, which looks directly out the back.
And that's on board with the Audi of Steve McLaughlin. Get out of the way. The big boys are coming on through. And that's what I love about GT racing. Forget the blue flags. Let the boys sort it out themselves with the slower cars and all the different types of manufacturers that are out there. As Van Gisbergen now takes another look around the outside. He's trying to get the punch off this slow right-hander and get up the inside of the Mercedes.
Van Gisbergen up the inside, wheel to wheel. These two guys, the best in the business, having a brilliant race for the lead. This circuit's got fast, slow corners, providing some of the best racing we'll ever see.
Back on board with Craig Baird, sharing with the newly crowned GT champ, Richard Muscat. There's something to look at just about everywhere here. We're on board with Peter Edwards in the Bentley Continental, and there's a problem with this new car. Looking down at the steering wheel. Ooh, doesn't sound good. So the 4-litre twin-turbo V8 Continental is grinding to a halt here, and that's a real shame, sharing that car with John Bow. It looks like it's just about game over, as the sign says.
Yeah, that's a terrible shame. You can hear him talking over the car there. He's not sure what the problem is, but that's over and out.
On board here with the Lamborghini Gallardo that started a bit further back in the pack. Justin McMillan has started. He's sharing with Steve Richards. They race regularly in Australia as Van Gisbergen goes by and gives a little wave and thank you. That puts the Lamborghini one lap down, about quarter race distance into this Highlands 101. Remember, McMillan's not a professional driver. He's doing a really nice job up against some guys who, they get paid to race cars. He's up against it.
I tell you, Justin McMillan, he's a ripper guy. He loves his racing. He's got this beautiful Lamborghini, getting better and better every year, driving that car fantastically well.
Love to just have a listen to the V10. Oh, now, he's going back by the McLaren that just put him down a lap. The car that is out front in the race overall. It's a little strange.
Yeah, definitely looks like the McLaren's got some form of issue here.
Now, Van Gisbergen's coming on in. Clark Quinn is waiting to take over, but there would appear to be something of an issue. Let's keep an eye on this.
And time for the first scheduled stop for our race leader, Shane Van Gisbergen, bringing the car in. He'll disembark the car now for Clark Quinn, making way for the much smaller driver to jump in for the middle stent and occupy the car for the middle part of the race before handing back to Shane Van Gisbergen. Of course, as well as grabbing some fuel at this opportunity, making a driver change, they will have to stop for a regulation of 131 seconds, determined by the seating of the driver and, of course, their grid position as well in the race. Crawling around the back of the car at the moment as the two drivers make some changes. Let's hope everything's okay for the race leader.
The view on board with Clark Quinn taking over the McLaren. Now, let's see if all is okay with this car, Will. As he leaves pit lane, second gear. Ooh.
Problem with third gear on the upshift there. Clearly cannot engage the gear.
Yeah, we got a problem with the gearbox, so just did a full system reset. It stopped changing gears completely, so I had to pit earlier than planned. But, man, the car is fantastic, really fast, so hopefully we can reset it and it keeps going. But really enjoyed the battles there. It was cool.
So the McLaren has got a few little dramas. Let's see how that develops. And that leaves Craig Baird in the Erebus Mercedes out in front at the moment. Has not been to pit lane just yet. Lights flashing as he comes onto the back of George Fossil in the Porsche. Andrew McPherson here in the GT3R. Rod Salmon in the Audi R8. Remember, Will, 2 compulsory stops in the Highlands 101. So some drivers have already taken their first pit stop as we ride on board the glorious V10 Audi R8 through this high-speed section. McPherson off the road. The Porsche is in the wall, and that is a high-speed crash. Wow, that's nasty.
Yeah, that was really nasty. He's gone into the chicane. He's used some curb on the left. The thing's just gone hard left on him. Straight, let's hope, into the tyre barrier. A lot of damage.
Let's have a look again on the replay. He's lost the rear on entry, and he's a passenger. That's heavy impact. That's nasty damage. He is okay. He has got out of that Porsche GT3R. The safety car is on the track here at Highlands Motorsport Park. So while the field is running slow, let's check out what some of the drivers got up to in this area before the weekend.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Chittenden. Welcome to the Hilton at Queenstown. The drivers stayed here last night and have had a great night's sleep, and they're going to have an epic day of adventure today. So let's go and meet them for breakfast. Got a massive day ahead of you, okay? You're going to need some Red Bull. Then we've got you use a nice kit, so you can all look the same. Okay, we've also got undies, and they're just for Simon.
My favourite kind too.
So John, you stayed here at the Hilton last night. Is it as good as it looks?
Absolutely. Beautiful view to wake up to. Ready for a big day with the lads out doing this adventure day.
Well, welcome to Queenstown, guys. I'm Andy from Black. For me, really special day because this will be the only day in my life that I'm ever in front of you. So sit back, enjoy the ride, and have a great day.
Is this on?
Mike's an expert.
Hi.
This gentleman here has put the challenge out, but we're going to keep it very clean, aren't we?
No.
Okay.
Nah, scrub that.
I love coming here and do a lot of track days out at Highlands and then stay in Queenstown, come up here a bit for testing, so that's going to help.
And just looking at these guys up there now, there's something not right about it, but I'm going to dig deep.
You don't look happy, Michael.
Hey, Mike, smile, bro.
Fantastic. Glad I did it. It's all done, and I would actually do it again. Had a ball. Best thing I've ever done.
Sort of jumping off a cliff isn't something you do every day, and definitely very fun. So have to be back again and do it next time.
Not quite.
No, that's pretty close on a few of them. They had me ducking, but that was awesome, eh?
Eco balls, they're biodegradable. So that's why we're allowed to have them from up here.
This is an extreme way of playing golf. I don't think I've hit balls at this elevation before, so it's unreal fun.
Simon, no mum jokes, but is your mum a pro golfer?
Yeah, it was awesome. Great view. Shame about the golf quality for me, but...
Tyres needed a little bit of time to come up to temperature. Balance was okay, a little bit of push at the start on cold tyres, but as it come to, it's good. Bit of bump drafting with Shane there.
He wasn't really getting full throttle, he was a bit slow.
No.
He smoked us. I was trying to keep up. I'm like, who is that? Too close to the guy in front, so we didn't know where he was going. And he's hit the brakes, and Jono's just gone straight to miss him. And then I went straight to the back of the bridge. And I'm trying to reverse, doesn't know you're behind me.
This is now the highlight of the day.
Been playing golf just up on the mountains, 5 minutes away, and then a helicopter ride here. Has it been a good day?
It's been an amazing day. Every day you have here in Queenstown or Central Otago is an amazing day. To have this facility, all us drivers, it's a real pleasure to be here.
You're back with the Highlands 101 Enduro at Highlands Motorsport Park in New Zealand. Steve McLaughlin here in the Audi is 7th in the race, but he's trying to get away from the pack because Craig Baird, the race leader, is moving on through and starting to get in the lap traffic. This part of the track will remind you of a certain track in the United States.
I love this place. They've taken some of the best corners in the world into here. That particular sequence from Watkins Glen, the famous bus stop.
And now, Craig Baird trying to put Justin McMillan in the Lamborghini down a lap, but one of his main rivals is out of this race.
Small touch from Craig Baird there.
Those problems are proving terminal for you, Clark.
Yeah, it is. It's a gearbox issue. We've got first and second, but nothing above that. You know, Shane was driving so well. He had a good pace, good lead. You know, it's not like the McLaren. It's proven all year that's very reliable. But anyway, there's still plenty of cars out there challenging for the win, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Tough luck. That's heartbreaking.
Thanks, guys.
That's a real shame. One of the big contenders is down and gone, but this is the one that leads the way. Craig Baird here putting a lap on Rod Salmon in the Audi R8. That is a car that has been contending quite nicely so far in the Highlands 101, but it doesn't have the pace that this SLS AMG GT3 has got. A bit further back, this is a good fight. Justin McMillan on board the Lamborghini. Peter Fitzgerald having his first start in an Audi. Long-time Porsche racer from Australia, sharing with Michael Armand. This is a really good scrap.
It is good to see Fitzy back out there. So successful in the Porsches. Here we see him in an Audi.
Whoa. Lost the rear on the way in. He's out of control. He's gone around. Luckily, he didn't take the Gallardo with him. He'll live to fight another day.
He was having a go, that's for sure.
Now, this is critical stuff. The Erebus Mercedes, they've both stopped once. There's another pit stop to come. Remember, they want to get Garth Tander in that Aston Martin as soon as they can because he's faster than Tony Quinn. He's only allowed to do a certain number of laps. They're pretty much at that point. But it's almost coinciding with the fuel range to get home to the end. So it's a real balancing act at the moment for both the Erebus team and the Aston Martin team of how they play this.
Absolutely intriguing part of this race, and in GT endurance racing in particular. They need Garth Tander in that car. But what's the limit in fuel to get to the end of this race?
That will be the story for the run home. So the Aston is nearly one lap down on the Erebus Mercedes that has really dominated the early stages of this race with Richard Muscat and Craig Baird at the helm. We jump on board with the SLS. Pit lane speed limiter is engaged, and it will be Richard Muscat who will take over this car for the run home.
Intriguing part of this race. They've come in one lap early. They're going to stretch this to the end. The important driver change here. We've got Muscat getting in. Beardo will be helping him plug in the radio. On board with Tony Quinn a lap later.
And he'll hand over, of course, to Garth Tander, who knows all about chasing down Erebus Mercedes in 101 races. He did it earlier in the year at Phillip Island in an Australian GT round. Service is complete at Erebus. Service begins at VIP Pet Foods with the Aston Martin, and they are sticking in a man who knows what to do. The factory Holden Racing Team V8 Supercar star, the 2007 V8 champ. He will have to start the chase of this man and this car. This is going to be great.
Beardo, good stint.
Yeah, it was all right. I struggled in there after the safety car. We filled it with fuel. I couldn't reset the fuel, and then the old fumes came through the car. So a bit stingy in the eyes and stuff, but the car's ticking along fine. They got their fuel reset in that pit stop. Rich is probably a bit quicker than me, so we'll just stroke along and hopefully see you on a podium at some point.
Leader of the race is the Audi R8 of Peter Fitzgerald and Michael Armand, but coming on to the back of them very quickly is Richard Muscat. Oh, Jeanette, this is a big loose. Tony Martin off the road. Ooh, that was nasty.
I tell you, that was a high-speed loose going across the escape road there, up on two wheels. Very lucky not to put it on its roof. Wild old spin, I tell you.
One of the cars from the GT Sports class. We jump back aboard with the Sony Action Cam. Richard Muscat in the Erebus Mercedes, putting the pressure on Peter Fitzgerald. This Audi is yet to take its second compulsory stop, but it's been a great debut by this squad with this R8. But it's no match for the mighty Erebus SLS, and the reigning Australian GT champion slips on through to retake the lead. Fight for second place is closing here. Garth Tander is going for the move in the Aston Martin. Now, Nathan Antunes, not a big name back in Australia. He's done a nice job for Rod Salmon in GT racing. He's up against it here.
We've got Tander. He's loving this car. Antunes on the defence. Garth on the ABS up the inside. Antunes switchback. Good job. Side by side. This is crazy stuff.
Looks like we got ourselves a bare-knuckle street fight out there right now, Tony Quinn.
Yeah, look, I think Garth's going to have a crack. I think he's just lining him up, and if I know Garth, he'll get him.
Would it be nice to sort of drag a wonderful second and a podium finish out of this event for you?
Yeah, that would be special for me. I mean, we haven't got the match of the Mercedes. They've been just the star class all weekend. But we've been a good second, you know, for this event anyway.
How do you feel about Garth using a little bit of Morse code on the back of that Audi?
That's a good idea.
It's done, you've got the spot.
Just happened.
That's magic. Well done.
I think that was big Morse code.
Here is the leader, Richard Muscat in the Erebus Mercedes. His margin wheel is pretty good at the moment, but Garth Tander is really ripping time. He's lowering the GT record just about every lap. He is really pushing, and he wants Muscat to use tyres, car, and most importantly, fuel.
Never give up, and he's piling the pressure on. He's just having fun out there, to be honest. He said earlier how much he loves this car. The harder you drive it with the aerodynamics, the more you're rewarded.
Now Muscat is trying to get home because there goes the Fastway Porsche of Simon Ellingham and Andre Heimgartner. That car is not as fast as the Mercedes. It is starting to struggle as we close on in towards the final lap of the Highlands 101.
I think he's actually coughing with fuel. He's on the radio. He is not going at race speed right now.
The crowd of 25,000 are getting their money's worth today. It will be a grandstand final lap. He's got margin back to the Aston Martin of Garth Tander, who is desperately trying to chase. But he's got nothing left. He's not making any speed. He's not making any pace. He cuts through the chicane on this final lap. A 3-hour race comes down to this, and he might be toast.
I cannot believe this. I know the fine calculations these guys go to. They would have been confident they were going to make it home. This is unbelievable stuff. Tander pressing on.
And he is pushing. He will be told by the VIP Pet Foods team that the Mercedes is limping home. He's desperately trying to make it. He's cutting every corner that he can cut and not do as much driving that he has to do. He's almost there. He's made it to the overpass. He's just about to the finish line. He might have timed this to absolute perfection to win the Highlands 101, win it at the slowest possible speed. Tander is throwing everything at this. The Aston Martin is absolutely on edge. He can smell a win. He's trying to hunt this car down. It is still going. Will it make it? I don't believe this. This is a stunning finish to the Highlands 101, but it's within sight. Tander is going to get him. The Erebus Mercedes is out of fuel. That is cruel stuff with a couple of corners to go.
I cannot believe this. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. 101 laps of the best racing you'll ever see. Craig Baird, amazing job. Gave it to Richard Muscat in a great spot. They haven't put a foot wrong, but it's come down to the wire, and what a job by these guys. Tony Quinn must be punching the air with joy back in the pits, and GT is going to cross the line in P1.
The Highlands 101 for the second year in a row will fall to the Aston Martin. Garth Tander and Tony Quinn come on home to win in 2014 in a grandstand finish. Unbelievable.
How fortunes can change on a lap. Can you believe it? Just quickly one word. Quickly, any other word.
Wow. How was that?
It was obviously the Erebus team were just running things down to the wire, and it appears it's puffed on the last litre of fuel it's had.
Wow. I mean, that's bloody Bathurst all over, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, I feel for those guys. They did a great job, but wow.
We obviously didn't get a full fill at that last stop. Just didn't quite have enough. We came in right on the window of the maximum laps for what Beto had to do by the rules. And we thought we'd have 3 litres left at the end, and we were short. So
there was a bare knuckle fight between you guys and Tander, and I got to say that was really well driven.
And really, you know, when I was out with Tony in the car too, we were going for it the whole time while I was out there with him. So it was just a constant the whole race. I think we're all within, you know, half a lap of each other maximum.
Third for us is amazing. Good, and hats off to the team. The car was brilliant all weekend.
And how are the nerves towards the end? It was a real nail biter.
It was. I thought, geez, I didn't drive that hard for nothing. So I think someone was looking down on us there for a while. It was good.
Enjoy the celebration tonight, guys.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
What an amazing finish. The Highlands 101 fast becoming a must-attend race on the calendar. Pencil it in for early November in 2015.